Hello, beautiful people. How are you? I am so happy to have day 4 today with you. I think that the first 3 days were incredible. I'm so glad I had the opportunity to actually deliver what I wanted. As I told you in the beginning, I just knew I have to deliver this information and that whoever needs to hear it is going to be exactly the right person. And as I told you, like even in the beginning, I was like, I don't want hundreds of people to this masterclass. This is going to be very special. So even if there are 5 people, I'm absolutely fine with it. And I want to have the people who would benefit the most of this. Otherwise, I could have done this in the success circle where we have 1,000 people, and it would be available to more people, but I just wanted not to create noise, but to speak to the right people. And everyone who is here, I see you are watching. I see many of you already started implementing everything we talked about in the last 3 days. And although you are quiet in the group, I see how quickly you are shifting and that you actually dove deep and you're already transforming your sales. Some of you shared that people inside of your world already loved that you're raising the bar and the new level you started speaking at. I see others of you who have already done some upgrades, some shifts, and you need to know that you will cash out very quickly of this. Just give it some time to unfold. Like, as I said, the pressure cooker, the first 15, 20 minutes might feel as if nothing is happening, but the pressure is like it's compressing, and in 45 minutes or 60 minutes, everything is happening. So give it a little bit of time, but you will cash out very quickly out of it. And to all of you, don't worry if some people disappear or if it feels like some people are not getting it. What I'm teaching here is meant to filter, which means that the right people will instantly recognize themselves and they will warm up very quickly and they will be ready for the next level, while others are going to be filtered and it's going to be, okay, these people are not ready yet, or we simply do not share the same values, or like my world is not the right place for these people or not at that point. That is totally fine for you and for them. They might come back later, or at some point you might decide to create another program that is going to be a better fit for them, but do not be afraid to filter people. This is what I want to start with. And before I dive in day 4, where we're going to talk about the clean sales, the clean scaling, don't forget to share me on your stories so you can win the draw for 500 euros that you can use for any of my upcoming programs. And trust me, you will want to win this because what is coming is incredible. Simply do one picture, tag me, or a short video like 3-5 seconds and share your breakthroughs in one simple sentence, very simple. Show me your appreciation, your transformation. Tag me and spread the word so more people can access this information. And most of all, you're going to win 500 euros that you can use for any of my upcoming programs, and very interesting things are upcoming. I also want to celebrate with you, and now my head is blowing my socks off. What happened? So my content just got monetized on Friday, and that came just when I was thinking, what's happening this week? My engagement dropped a little. I was feeling like this time I was not reading the data. So that's why I'm telling you this. It was just an assumption. I was having like this feeling, something is like, it feels quiet. And as I told you, this should not run your business. but you are a human, just like I am. And we should not allow feelings to dictate our decision making. So remember this, you might fall short, but as soon as you catch yourself having such a thought, like something is not working, something is off, why people are quiet, why people are not commenting, okay, people are not commenting, but at the same time, I see people are applying what I'm talking about. I see some posts are getting comments, some of them are not, but I am also seeing that they get reach, which means people are reading quietly. And as soon as I caught myself in this thought, I was like, stop right now. And let me see the actual data and move from there, not from this emotion or perception that I personally have. So as I was laying on the couch with my fiance on Friday evening, it was probably already 8 p.m. I don't know, like something like that. And I said, let me open Facebook, and I saw this on my stories. You're eligible for content monetization. And I was like, wait, what? I have 1,000 followers. 7 or 8 months ago, my account was heavily restricted, and it was a whole horror movie to get it back to life. There were moments when I was feeling like as if nothing, but literally it was feeling like I'm speaking in an empty room. And now I see reach decrease, and you're monetizing me? I thought the algorithm hates me. And this was like, I was like watching this, it appeared on stories. I was like, is this a mistake? And I opened the story and I exit and I open it again. And all these thoughts running through my mind for like 0.0005 seconds. And I'm like a crazy chicken here. Couldn't believe for like 15 minutes. I started screaming and I started hitting my fiance. See what's happening. Look what's going on. And he, what's going on? What, are you crazy? What happened? What does this mean? And I was like, I don't know. I got monetized. My content is now monetized. What does this mean? And don't you remember that I was telling you and I was explaining you, blah, blah, blah. And he was like, okay, I'm very happy for you. And, after the first 10, 15 minutes when I couldn't believe it, then I started thinking, okay, monetization, content monetization, not sending stars or anything like this, it is not about how many followers you have. Just like sales are not about how many followers you have, and sales on repeat are not about how many people are currently in your audience or your current offers. You could make sales on repeat from one and the same person. This is not about how good, like how big your audience is. It is about how good, powerful, and interesting your content is to your audience and non-followers as well. And I was immediately like, of course, this actually makes total sense. I just have done 3 hyper powerful live sessions for sales on repeat. All the replays are uploaded in the Facebook group. People there are watching, although there are 7, 8 people. One video has like 50, 60 views. This means people are actually watching it. Each of these live sessions is 1.5 hours or 2 hours long, and it's not fluff. It's deeply transformational. I'm doing lives regularly on my page and my group, the Success Circle. My content is totally not shitty. And even though it seems like my reach and engagement is sometimes low, obviously, although like I'm usually reaching about around 100,000 people, 100,000 to 1,500 people per month for 30 days. My engagement is usually between 9, 10 or 12, 13K in 30 days. So it's not like nothing, but of course there are people with way higher, way more reach. Their metrics are like much better than mine. But I was like, yeah, obviously 10,000 people engaging every month. This is literally not like a small number. Reaching 100,000 or 150,000 people, I speak as a whole my page, across groups, across my own page, across my own group. Well, this is like a good audience, actually. Obviously, people watch, read, they're checking my page, they're coming into my group, they stay longer on the posts or the live videos, which increases the dwell time. Of course, it is more than logical to be monetized. And it was just a matter of time, nothing else. And once again, this is your proof that when your positioning and content are powerful, it gets noticed. And more people than you think are actually watching and reading. And they're reading at a way more deeper level than you imagine right now. That is the biggest proof of my concept that your positioning and content and visibility, all of these are assets. None of this is about you. These are assets. If you take only this from these 5 days, that your positioning, content, and visibility are assets, and you are able to distinguish me from the business and these assets, and not make it about you when the reach is low, when you think and assume people are not watching or people are not currently buying. And if you are able to see this as data and treat it as an asset and skills that can be mastered, developed, if you only take this from these 5 days, that would make your whole game and sales. So I want to celebrate with you that my content got monetized. I have no idea what I'm going to do, if I'm going to earn any money at all. I have no idea, but I will keep doing what I do. I will double down on the things I know that they work. For example, the questions that I'm asking, and that was your homework the last time, to start posting these binary questions and that type of content that I shared in session 3. So I will keep doing this, and let's see what's going to happen in 30 days, in 60 days, in 90 days, what I can double down on, what is not performing that well. But this is data, and this means that what I'm doing is very powerful and working. I know people who have hundreds of thousands of people in their audience. Is like 100K or 120K audience, and they just got monetized. This is 100 times more than what I have as an audience. So take what you need to take from here, and let's go. The other thing I want to share with you is, I was not sure if I should share this, but I will. Yesterday, there were elections in my country, the governmental elections. And for the last 20 years, 29 years actually, there was no party that gets majority on the elections. For the first time, for the last 29 years, and I'm 35 years old, which means that my whole life almost, this is the first time for 29 years that we have one party win absolute majority, 45% of the votes, and being able to create government on its own. We were and we are in such a huge political crisis that you can't even imagine it. We adopted the euro on January 1st this year. The inflation is, I don't know, like 1,000 times higher. You know, everything that's happening in the world, that's not the topic of the day. But why this matters and why I'm telling you this? Not because of the elections, don't bother about it. But I'm not saying this for political reasons, but because I want to show you two things here. The first thing is that everything is a choice. And you have the power to move and break the statu quo in your own business. I'm not speaking of country elections, of politics. I'm not speaking about that. I'm speaking of your business. And if you don't like something in your business currently, simply choose to change it. Take an honest look at what's happening, what is okay, double down on it, what is not okay, say, okay, this has been like this for so long, it worked probably till now, but now it's no longer working, or this simply cannot come with me where I'm going. And this is one of my core beliefs in life as a whole. If you are noticing that your current content is not really representing what your brand stands for and it is not attracting the right people, shift it. If something in your positioning is old school already and you would like to level up the positioning, go do it. If there are people from your, like in your clientele, that are no longer a fit for what you want, think of how you can change that. The statu quo can be changed. So think of this in your business. Forget the elections I was talking about. Make your choice and focus on who you let in your business and what you actually want and how you personally, as the founder of your business and as a business owner, not just a coach, not just an expert in your field, how you personally would like to lead your business and your clientele and your brand and what you want to achieve in the next 1, 3, 5, 10 years. That's how sales on repeat are going to happen. And this is why I'm giving you this example. The next thing that I want to tell about this is about the message. So I observed all political parties and their messaging in this campaign. I was really very strict since I was like, I want to see their messaging and to see what marketing are these parties applying. It was very, and I always, by the way, observe this very closely in every country. So it's not in every country, but in, let's say, the big players. So this time I did my due diligence as a taxpayer, as a citizen, as a member of the European Union and the world as a whole. I checked what each leader of these parties spoke about on the TV, on the internet. And my fiance was like, are you watching the news again? Are you crazy? What's going on with you, woman? And like, because I usually don't watch the news like these TV shows, I'm not like very much about it, but this time I was very strict. And he was like every day, you're crazy, stop watching this news, I hate the news, what's going on? You were not watching the news, what's happening with you right now? But I was like, no, I want to know what's happening what are their policies, their foreign policy, the internal affairs, the healthcare, the taxes, the social contributions, all of this. I want to know what's happening. And why I'm telling you this? Again, not about the politics. Consider this your reminder. When someone is looking for the work you do, when someone is looking for a solution of their current problem situation, or when they simply are looking for transformation, they will watch and observe. They will look probably for some free things or maybe some low ticket offers. They will look at your lives on social media probably. They will binge your content for some time. They will probably try your free masterclasses, your low ticket spaces, or maybe mid ticket spaces. And they will first observe. Some people are going to be ready in 15 minutes. They will find you today. They will watch a live or read 2-3 pieces of content. And they will be, I'm in. Others might need like, I don't know, a week, 3 months, 5 months. But your job is to be on point and very specific every second. And here is what I noticed. The party that won so unapologetically actually had a hyper clear messaging. And guess what else? They were, first of all, very transparent of how much time what they want to do is going to take. And they said, we want to start working for this. It's not going to happen overnight, but we want to start doing this. Transparency, long-term goal. Does that sound familiar? They were very clear on their main priorities. They said, and they actually presented their plan and how they would approach it. Sounds familiar? What does that look like to you? Revenue-led positioning. Not just empty promises. Not we will erase the corruption. Not like we want peace. None of this. No empty promises. A whole program with the what, the how, steps. This is exactly what we want. This is how we are going to do it. This is our program. This is our approach. And if we have to relate this, because this is marketing, what do you think? That they do not have the best marketers? They do have. And if we have to relate this to your business, to your positioning and your messaging, this is exactly what I teach you. This is when I'm telling you, give them the transformation, but also tell them about the methodology behind it. How you make people see you, see themselves in this, want it, and how are you different so they can trust you. So that's the point. That's why I'm giving you this example. This is it on this topic. It's totally, once again, not about elections or whoever party or whatever. I don't care about that. I care that you and what choices you make and how you position your work and offers, how you lead people in your world and to trust you long term. Because my job here, although this is a free masterclass, is that you get results quickly. If you apply everything that I'm giving you, not even everything, if you just apply 3 things from what I have given you so far, I can almost guarantee you're going to see incredible results. Today, we are going to talk about something that most people in the online space are afraid to say out loud, because it goes against everything you've been told about being accessible, generous, and giving value. Let me know in the comments, even if you're catching the replay, let me know in the comments what resonates with you of these. Do you find like the examples I just gave you relevant to business and to messaging? What I want to talk about today is the reason your sales feel hard or exhausting sometimes or inconsistent. It is not because you need to give more. And I started talking about this the other day. But it is because you haven't decided yet what you will no longer tolerate. I have a masterclass called Scale Like a CEO that dives very deep on exactly this topic, and it will 3x your sales from just applying real business principles and boundaries without even making huge shifts in your strategy. I will add the link here in case you want to start leading at a very different level and actually become the business owner and the leader your clients will love, but with very clear boundaries, with a lot of profit, without draining yourself. I will leave you the link here. Clean sales don't come from better tactics. You need to understand this. They come from higher standards. And a business and a brand people love buying from and staying with has high standards. Today I'm going to show you exactly what that means for your offers, for your buyers, your energy, and your revenue. Let's start. I have a couple of points to discuss with you. What clean sales actually means, the first point. Most people think selling is about persuasion. Getting someone to say yes, convincing them, handling objections, although this is an important part. Like, I'm not saying these are not important. Some people also think they need to send 10 cold DMs and 10 follow-ups, but I directly block these people, for example, and that model is exhausting. It attracts the wrong people. Because when you sell from persuasion, you attract buyers who needed to be convinced at the first place, or who are not ready for the transformation you want to give them. I spoke about that. If you remember to speak only to people who have zero resistance, people who are already looking for what you're offering and who are already pretty much on that path. Like, let's say they are, if it's for me, they are already looking to improve sales. They are already seeing money is leaking. They are already familiar that it's costing them a lot. So I will not be starting from like explaining what this means. If you have noticed, like I oftentimes in my lives that I'm doing on my page and in the success circle, I'm oftentimes saying this is only for the people who are ready for the mirror, who are ready to hear the uncomfortable truth, who are ready to be honest with themselves and to admit, okay, yeah, there is a leak here, or things are great, but I know there is so much more potential that I currently cannot utilize. And I'm looking for someone to expand my vision, to help me see where money is leaking, to help me, adjust my positioning. And I'm speaking to these people. So think how you can apply this to your lives or your pieces of content, whatever. It doesn't matter if you're doing a live or just writing a post or making a reel. Make sure that you're speaking to these people. A buyer who needs to be convinced will always question the investment immediately after, like even before they have invested. They will not do the work even if they join. They will expect you to hold everything for them. They will blame you when results don't come, although they haven't done anything. Like, for example, someone signed up for this masterclass and haven't even joined the Facebook group, they haven't watched anything, and then they could say, but this was a shitty masterclass. How can you say that when you didn't even join? You didn't even invest your time to watch everything and to apply even 2-3 things, not to speak of everything that I gave here. And these people are not going to come back. They might hate you publicly, they might write something bad about it, but this is when you need to know the things that you are not going to tolerate anymore. Because clean sales is just the opposite of that I just said. Clean sales means your message is so clear, so specific, so aligned that the right person reads it and already knows. They don't need convincing. They need a direction to move in. And your job is simply to make that direction very obvious so they can access this when they land on your page. When they find you in a group of hundreds and thousands of people, but they can see your post on the main wall. You're not a salesperson. You are a standard. And when your standard is clean, clear, the right people self-select. The second thing, the energy leak, that like nobody talks about that. But I want to ask you something very honest. How much of your energy every month goes toward, and this, I'm opening brackets, and this costing you 6 figures per month, in people who say, I'm interested but never move? And are you like, they said they're interested, they asked for the link, but they are not signing up. Why is that? Okay, I have like 20 people asked for the link, but only 5 joined. And instead of actually realizing how high your conversion rate is and how working your messaging is, you're focusing on the people who didn't buy. When in fact, what is the average conversion rate for your industry? It is usually 1 to 3%. For example, mine is 7 with a tiny audience. 4-figure offers behind the scenes, sold every other week with a tiny audience. I'm not wasting time on people who say not now. I'm going to postpone this for now. Okay, that's fine. I'm here whenever you decide. Welcome. The next one, please. How much energy are you leaking in people who ask endless questions but never buy? Like all the information is given on stories, in the post, on the sales page. I'm not saying you should be distant and not accessible, but I'm saying you need to set your standards and boundaries. What are you okay to give? And where is the borderline? How much are you delivering in a, let's say, a free container or a low ticket space? Are you like answering everybody personally when you can make one question thread, or just say like there was such a question, or just say I will read your comments and questions and I will come and make, let's say, a 30-minute session where I will answer the most common, if you wish, of course. Are you leaking energy on people who enter your world, get some results and disappear? Because this will keep happening. Even if you are someone great, and like for me, more than 80% of my clients, probably 90% of my clients are buying at least 3 times on average, and they're signing up for long-term work. And there was literally a couple of people who just bought once, but I'm not wasting energy on them. I'm saying, no, okay, they got what they needed right now. That is fine. Let's move on. Are you wasting time, energy, effort on people who buy once at your lowest price and expect everything? Or are you able to say, as I told you like the other day, okay, I see you need more support and I'm happy to work with you in a close proximity, but that is another container. This is another space, or this is a one-on-one intensive that costs like 5 times more than what you're currently paying. Of course, in a very respectful way, but I mean, like, set that boundary. Tell people, like, I love to help you. I see you have potential. I see you're actually at a higher level than the current container you're in. You're welcome to come in my mastermind where we're having that deep conversations. And I believe you're going to get incredible results because I see your potential and that you're ready to utilize it. Welcome to the mastermind. Here is the link. Let me know if you have questions. And if they say, I'm not ready for that investment, for example, or whatever reason, then say, okay, I see, whenever you feel ready, just let me know and stop giving them everything. Are you wasting time on people who drain your creative energy, creative power, before a single euro or dollar lands? These are energy leaks that are costing you literally 6 figures a month. And guess how I know? Either I made this mistake or I saw it with my clients. This is one of the biggest reasons established coaches and experts and service providers plateau. Not because they aren't talented, but because, like, the ascension path is not clearly set up due to the standards that you currently have and because you're tolerating too much. Because you are probably spending your highest creative energy on the wrong people. Think about that. Even if there is one person like this in your world, it is costing you money, energy, effort, and that leaves almost nothing for the people who are actually ready to invest, move, and stay. Not everyone who shows interest is your buyer, and not every buyer is your client, your ideal client. There is a difference. The buyer has the capacity to pay and to respect your work. They will share your work. They will tell their friends, they will share on their stories, and they will give you the credit for it. They will say, I have worked with her, and I'm very happy with the result, with the transformation. They will not be like quiet forever and not giving you the credit for what you have done or hating you for no reason. Some people have the capacity to transform and to take responsibility for that transformation. So speak to these people, look for these people. Because if you confuse the people who are only consuming without becoming buyers, customers, if you confuse this, you will over-deliver to people who are not ready. Don't underserve the people who are not ready and wonder why your retention is low. Learn to filter without being cold. This is where most people get stuck because they think filtering means being harsh, distant, don't friend zone, being arrogant, and it doesn't. Filtering is simply positioning with precision. When your messaging is specific enough, the wrong people disqualify themselves before they even reach you. They read your content, watch a live of yours, and then they think, this is not for me right now. This is not rejection. That is actually the system working. This should be happening when your positioning and messaging are the right ones for you and for your current offer. The right people, the right person reads the same content and thinks, this is exactly where I am. This is exactly what I need. And guess what? One person could pay 10K for this, while the people who are not ready won't even pay $50 or euros for it. And you will need hundreds of people who are going to drain you, and you will not even make this 10K. While if you shift what I'm speaking about, like if you shift this, first of all, you can raise the prices significantly, maybe 2-3 times higher, and you will find the right buyers. And imagine 2 people sign up for a 10K offer, and you make 20K from this 5-day free masterclass. So what's the ROI? Precision in messaging is the most elegant filter you have. The more specific you are about who you work with, what level they need to be at, what problem you solve and what you don't, what is required for them to get results. Like, for example, this is a 12-month membership. We are going to focus on the 3-4, like whatever it is, elements that you need in your business, and we are going to master them. Everything will be precise. This is not about doing more. This is about mastering the exact things you need to stop draining yourself and stop losing money. This is required from you to stop doing everything, to stop consuming the noise, to come and do the work, and voila, you will return your investment on the 30th day. And when you are very clean about this and clear, the clearer this is, the positioning and the messaging, the clearer your buyers become. And clearer buyer means fast decisions, less energy spent convincing, higher commitment to the work, better results, more referrals, and more repeat purchases. You don't need more leads oftentimes. You need better qualified ones. Like in most of the cases, this is the reason, like that sales plateau or that you don't have sales on repeat. Stop overgiving as a sales strategy. That's like, I cannot even express how huge this is. This is a huge leak for most people. And of course, it has been for me as well. I need to say this clearly because it's like costing you hundreds of thousands every month. Overgiving is not generosity. In many cases, overgiving is fear dressed as value. Fear that you're not enough, that people won't see your work, that people cannot implement or cannot transform otherwise. Fear that if you don't give everything up front, they will not buy. And so you pack your free content with everything. You over-explain in the DMs probably, or in a low-ticket spaces that you're currently running. You give full strategy in discovery calls. Hi, welcome, say hello to me, because I have been doing this like for a very long time, giving full strategy and telling them exactly how to position their offer and wondering why they do not sign up for an intensive, for example. And of course, there were also people who simply expected this and they got angry when I said, this is in a paid container. I'm not going to give you the full strategy. I'm not going to give you the positioning, because with 2 sales of this, you're going to make 3 times the investment. And they got angry. And they told me I'm a bitch. But adding more and more to your offers, hoping it tips the decision, that's not how it works. Don't make this mistake. I have done it. Learn from me. Don't make this mistake. Because what is actually happening is, when you give everything for free or at a very low price point, you teach your audience that this is the level of value they can expect without investing deeply. They will not respect it. Not everyone is going to respect it. Maybe there will be some people who are grateful, but you are going to feel drained. And they will learn to stay at the surface of your world. They would say, why would I pay 15K for something when I'm getting so much for 5K, for example? They will consume, they might engage, they might appreciate, not all of them for sure, but they are not going to buy high ticket. It is going to be very difficult for you to shift this buying behavior and to create a new culture of high ticket sales, because you have already given them enough to feel satisfied. Generous does not mean limitless. Generous means deeply valuable with clear boundaries. The most desired brands, remember what we spoke in day 3, they give in a way that opens desire, not closes it. So learn to open loops. The most desired brands show enough to create hunger. Remember the example I gave you with the Birkin bag. What's the leather? What's inside? What's the hardware? And they're showing it to you, showing you the craftsmanship. What is it? Supporting it with, you can see it, but you can't even touch it with your hands, only with gloves. And they give you a desire and hunger, just enough to create hunger, but not enough to create satisfaction. So now you start wanting it. Ask yourself right now, am I overgiving because I believe in my work, or because I'm afraid that without it people won't choose me? Am I creating a free masterclass strategically, or just because I believe people are not going to buy the high level I want to deliver? That answer will tell you everything. The next point is that clean standards, this simply attracts premium buyers. Here is something I have seen consistently in my own business and in my clients' businesses. The moment you raise the standard, the buyer quality changes like that. Like suddenly someone appears from somewhere, not just in who pays, in who shows up, who does the work, who gets result, who refers others, who comes back, sorry. Because premium buyers, the one making real moves and investing seriously, are not looking for the cheapest option. They're looking for the clearest, most trustworthy, most well-led option. And they read your standards before they read your price. They will look at how you communicate, how you hold your containers, how you respond to objections and delays, how you onboard and lead, whether your brand feels coherent and intentional, whether you show up with conviction or apology. When all of these things are at a high standard, the premium buyer thinks this person operates at my level. This is someone I can trust with my business, for example, or my relationship or my body. and they move fast because high-level buyers don't need to be convinced. They need to be shown that the standard is real, not just words, as I told you. It's not empty promises. Where are your standards visible? In the way you show up on social media, in your content, in when you're doing a live, when you're delivering free masterclasses, your sales pages. Do you have terms and conditions? Is it clear, like, what is your refund policy or no? Do you have the FAQ sections so people can instantly answer these questions? Do you have social proof on your sales pages or on your social media? Not every single day, of course, but like regularly. Are you actually showing them you care and how you can help them? Or you're just posting like blog posts, for example? Before they read your sales page and your offer, they are reading you. And this is, subconscious. Am I resonating with this person? What is happening here? Is this for me? And this is when you set the standards and you can hold them. What I told you, to hold this standard long enough so it becomes your new normal. This is when you can have a clean scale model. You cannot have a clean scale model before that. I have seen it millions of times. If you don't have this clean foundation with standards, with boundaries, with normalized revenue, you won't scale sustainably. Most people think scaling is more content, more offers, more launches, higher cash month, more platforms, more followers, more effort. But the model this model creates noise, not growth. And it always collapses, always, if you haven't normalized it. If you don't have a system that can hold that scale. Clean scale is different. It means that you're doing less, but at a higher standard. You're not shifting your messaging and your core positioning and offer like every 3 days, but you're deepening, you're going a layer deeper. You're not doing 35 things, like 1% of each, but you're doing 3 or 5 things where you can actually make like 80 or 100% on this. You're focused. So each action compounds instead of resets. It would look like, probably for some of you, if you enjoy creating a lot of low ticket offers, go do it, but be intentional. But if you are creating a lot of low ticket offers and just throwing spaghetti on the low, no. Clean scaling would look like fewer offers, but positioned with precision, where people can master something. Not 1 month where people just start seeing some traction and then the container ends and they lose all the momentum, and you too. It means messaging that attracts and pre-qualifies simultaneously. A buyer journey that naturally ascends people without chasing. Containers that are so well led into business that you're leading like a CEO, that clients want to stay and refer without being asked. Without being asked, they just say, do you know, I'm currently in one space with this woman and it is so great. And yesterday we talked about that and I feel so good, so inspired. And I'm seeing such a huge shift, which means automatically that the energy is protected and you can show up at your highest level consistently. You're not like giving your energy to everything and everyone. Clean scale is not about adding more. It's about removing everything that is diluting your positioning, draining your energy, and preventing the right people from seeing you clearly. Because right now, for many of you, the selling is not your talent. It's the noise around it. When you remove the noise, the signal becomes undeniable. And it gets so much more, like, so way easier, way more profitable, way more fun. People love it. And the last thing, when it comes to repeat sales and that kind of business and brand, where people love being in and buying on repeat, is the premium authority. Because I think authority is very wrongly understood and actually wrongly sold in the majority of the times, and too many people are probably mistaking it. Premium authority is not about how long have you been in business, how much money you have made, even if you wish, how many certifications you have, how many followers you've built, how much free content you've created. Premium authority comes from one thing: the certainty with which you hold your position. When you know deeply, not performatively, just like me and my monetization, I knew that what I'm doing is right and it's landing for people. And I know that even if I have 10 comments instead of 1,000 comments, I know that if this impacts one person, it is going to change one person's life and business. I know that even if I have 7 people in a masterclass, first of all, they are going to have huge transformation. And second of all, this will become long-term clients. Not because I perform, but because the transformation is so deep and people see it, people recognize it, and they want to take it further. They want to take the next step naturally. So when you know deeply, not performatively, what your work does, who is it for, and why it matters, you simply stop explaining yourself and you stop apologizing for your prices. You stop softening your messaging to make it more palatable. Sorry. You stop chasing people who are hesitating. You simply show up clearly at your standard. And the right people, they feel it immediately. That is what makes someone say, I don't know exactly why, but I trust you. I want to work with you. This is not the strategy they are responding to. It's the certainty behind it. And that certainty actually is built by doing exactly what we have been doing over the last 4 days with today. Stabilizing your current level instead of collapsing it or just trying to grow for the sake of growth. Being a brand people want to return to, building that world people want to return to. Positioning with precision instead of speaking to everyone. And holding your standards so clean that only the right people get close. This is clean sales, clean scale. This is the business that you're building. And before I close, I want to give you the homework for today. And this is to audit your offer. Remove the fear and reveal the core. I want you to do something uncomfortable today. I want you to look at your core offer and ask yourself honestly, how much of what's inside is actually needed for the result of my client? And how much is there because you are afraid people wouldn't choose you without it? Because most coaches and service providers at some point do the same thing. They add another module, another bonus, another call, yet people haven't called up the first 3. another resource, another layer. Remember the first session we had where I told you to give space. Give space to people, to yourself, to your offers, to the results to unfold. Give time to the transformation to be able to happen. Do people really need this? Or you edit it to feel like enough? Because if you keep adding, you're risking that the offer becomes bloated, the client become overwhelmed, the transformation gets diluted, and you work twice as hard delivering something that actually creates half of the result of a cleaner, more focused container. Less is more. And sit with this question. How does your client actually need, what does your client actually need to create the result you promise? Not everything you know, not everything you could teach, not everything that makes you feel safer. What is the essential path from where they are to where they want to be? Strip everything else out. What you will find almost every time is that the real transformation lives in far fewer things than you have packed in. And the things left over, those are not failures. They are your next offer or your entry-level space. Usually, what happens is that when we take an offer that is not being sold well enough, and we can create 2 or 3 offers out of it. And one of them is entry level, that's the core, and this is the upsell, the third thing. And when you're selling your core offer and someone tells you, I'm not ready yet, you can say, okay, come here, start here. When you're ready, you will come here. And then when you're even more ready and you already grow, you will come to the mastermind, for example. When you audit your core offer with honesty, something is going to happen with you. And this is happening most of the time. Almost always we end up with these 3 distinct things that I told you. The entry point where lower access or just simply a masterclass or a, I don't know, 5-day masterclass or program, short container, very specific and focused, that solves one clean and immediate problem they have. Lower price point because the scope is genuinely smaller and it is meant for more people. This is meant to be like top of the funnel. And you're not discounting yourself. This is for the person who is not ready yet for level 10 transformation. But they can handle and they can hold and they want and they need a real tangible result first. This creates trust. It will prove your methodology and it will open the desire for the next level. Then will come the core offer, which is the main body of work. The full transformation, the real depth. Priced accordingly to what is actually delivered. Not apologetically, not inflated, but very honestly and aligned. This is for the people who are ready, who has either done, the person who has either done the entry-level work with you or somewhere else, and they come already at the level of the readiness, zero resistance, who are not looking for a quick fix probably, and they are ready for this structural shift in their life, relationship, business, communication, anything. And then comes the ascension, the next level of the access, probably, or the proximity, or the depth. It's not necessary that you give more access to you, but maybe the sessions you're leading, they are at a different depth. The higher investment, more direct, more intensive for these people who are probably experienced your work, or they simply find you today very ready to join a mastermind, let's say. These people want to go further, faster, deeper, with more of you. And again, it's not necessary to add more things. You could add more depth. Very like faster transformation. More, let's say, strategic partnership, or maybe one-on-one call with you where you can instantly laser spot what's the problem, and in 60 minutes, everything is going to be like completely different. Think of who is eligible to ascend and how to position it. This is where most people get it wrong. They either make the ascension feels like a random upsell, so it feels salesy and breaks trust, or they never mention it at all. So clients who are ready have no clear next step and drift away. The right approach is to position the ascension from the beginning, not by pitching it constantly, but by letting people feel from day one inside your spaces, your world, that there is a next level and it is accessible. I can give it to you. The only thing is, are you ready? If you are, move, make the move, step inside. This is the beginning of something, not the sailing. When someone enters your world and immediately feels there is more here, there is a deeper version of it, there is a next chapter, they start moving towards it naturally. The language for the ascension is not by saying like, buy this next thing. No, this is not how you frame it and position it. It would sound like, this is for the woman who has done the work, has seen what is possible, and is now ready to move at a different speed, with precision, at a different level of depth and transformation. And of course, you can frame it with your tone of voice, with your brand voice, with your brand essence and what you're doing in your offer. Readiness is the filter, not the budget, not the desire. Readiness and proven commitment to the work. And then price accordingly to the transformation. Not in hours or deliverables, not about how many codes are included, not about how many modules or PDFs or resources. It is about what changes on the other side. If your core offer restructures someone's, like for me, someone's entire positioning, their buyer journey, their revenue consistency and architecture, and they go from, for example, from 8K to 40K months, and they have recurring revenue, and these sales are happening on autopilot because we have set up the sales system to work 24/7. What is that worth? Not in a manipulative way, in a very honest way. When they are going to make 1 or 2 sales and they're going to make to return the whole investment, or they're going to make 1.76 million in 30 days. Price should reflect the true weight of the transformation. And when it does, something shifts in how you sell it. This is when you stop apologizing, you stop justifying, you stop adding things to make the price feel worth it, because you know what it's worth. And you say it without knowing. And understand that there will always be people who might not want your core offer or your highest level offer. They might not feel the pull, not be ready to come at that level of commitment. Maybe they need to build more trust, the timing isn't right. That's fine. But here is the principle I want you to hold. Always lead with the full vision. Always show the highest level of what is possible inside your world first. Let them feel the depth. Let them see the full transformation. Let them want it. And then only if it's genuinely not the right moment, you offer a different entry point. Not the same work at a lower price, not a discounted version of the core offer or the mastermind level offer, but something genuinely smaller in scope, less access, more focused. It should feel like if you're not ready for the full journey yet, here is another first step you can take. But not like, fine, I'll give you the same thing for less because you said no. If you do the later thing, you teach your buyer that your price is negotiable and not that valuable, not that transformational. This is when you soften your positioning, and that hesitation is costing you. The full version first, always. The entry point is an invitation for those who need to begin smaller, not a discount for those who push back. Maybe sometimes you're going to say, okay, I wish you good luck. And then market all of these properly. Once your offer ecosystem is clean, when you have entry, core, ascension, your content job becomes very simple. You write about the transformation at the core level. You show people what becomes possible when the thing you solve is solved. You speak to the specific, painful, real problem that your core offer eliminates. And you let the content do the filtering. So by the time someone comes to you, they already know which level they are entering at. Your content should answer 3 invisible questions your buyer is always asking themselves. Is this for someone like me? Do I trust this person to actually deliver this to me? Is now my moment? And when your content answers all these with specificity, with micro moments, with certainty, with a clean invitation, people move. Not because you convince them, because the offer was built for them, positioned clearly, and priced honestly. That is a clean offer ecosystem, and that is where sales on repeat actually begin. Before anyone even clicks the link. Your offer comes first, your content comes from it. This is one of the most important things I say in this entire masterclass. Most people create content and then try to attach an offer to it. That is backwards. And this is why so much content gets engagement but not sales. Your offer is not built from your content. The right sequence of actions is your content is built from your offer, and your offer is built from the people you want to serve, their problem and the solution that you have. Before you write a single post, before you go live, before you record anything, you need to be ruthlessly clear on 3 things about your core offer. Who is this specifically for? But not a vague avatar, a real situation, micro moment they experience today, this morning. A real person at the real stage, the real life. What are they doing? What level are they at? What have they tried already? What is not working despite their effort? Not they're going to get rich. Not they will transform their life. Exact specific situations. What are the specific problem you're solving in this offer? Not 20 things, not transformation soup. 1 to 3 precise, painful, real problems that your ideal client is experiencing right now and that your offer eliminates or restructures or transforms. What's the transformation on the other side? Not inspiration, not potential. Very specific and concrete, livable change. Like, for example, people will be buying from each piece of content without you needing to do sales calls or chasing them. on autopilot. What does their business revenue, confidence, relationship, communication, family situation, parenting, what the client experience actually look like after this work. Once you're clear on those three things, everything else follows. Your content is just your offer seen through different lenses. When you know your 1 to 3 core problems, your content strategy becomes very simple. You rotate around those problems and principles, not repetitively or robotically, but through different angles, different micro moments, different entry points into the same truth and transformation. One day you write about the symptom. What are they experiencing that signals the problem? Another day you write about the cost of doing this. What's staying in this problem is actually costing them in revenue, energy, time, relationship, well, I don't know, they're gaining weight. On the third day, you write about the mechanism, why the usual solutions don't work and what actually does. Another day, you write about the transformation, what becomes possible when this is solved. Another day, you write a binary question that makes them choose a side. Then you share a client story or a moment from your own business that illustrates the problem from the inside. Same problem, different lens, different micro moments, different person in your audience feels seen that day. I just gave you a whole content strategy, a whole week. And if you repeat this for 3 or 4 weeks, your spaces will be full. This is how you repeat without sounding repetitive. And this is how you stay in front of your buyer long enough for them to move, because most people need to see something 7 to 12 times before they feel ready to act. For how long do you run this? 3 to 4 weeks on the same core problem set, depending on how warm your audience is. If your audience is very hot, you might get like 15 people or hundreds of people with the first couple of posts. If your audience is not hot, you might need 3 weeks, 4 weeks, even 6 weeks sometimes. For cold or newer audiences, 4 weeks minimum. They need more time to trust, more exposure to the problem framing, more proof that you understand their world. For warm audiences, like 2-3 weeks is often enough. Could be even less. They already have context, they just need the right moment and the right angle. After 3 to 4 weeks, you either move to the next problem or your offer solves, or you simply launch the next thing. Because by then the right people in your audience have been marinated enough and it feels like the obvious thing for them to do. And if you have a core offer that is a long-term membership space, for example, simply make sure you're marketing it every week. It could be that you're marketing one core offer, and then you can say, and if you want to work with me on this in depth, I'm doing this in my XYZ offer. And the second thing I want you to do today, it is to write down the 3 standards you have not been holding in your business. Not the ones you often talk about and know, the ones you have been quietly lowering because you were afraid of losing the sale, losing the client, or losing the approval. Then decide which one of these you will enforce this week. Because the moment you hold it, something will shift. Your messaging will get sharper. Your buyers will get cleaner. Your energy will open up. And the revenue will follow. That's it for today. Tomorrow is our last day from the live sessions. There is a question thread in our Facebook group where you can put your questions, your breakthroughs, your whatever comes out for you from these 4 days. I will bring everything together, the full picture of what Sales on Repeat actually looks like as a Lift business model and how you move forward from here. Thank you so much for being with me. Share this video, share me on stories. Make sure you tag me so you can win 500 euros and also share your breakthroughs. I'm like really curious to see how you are applying everything we are doing. How is it working for you? Do you have any questions as you're applying it? And tomorrow I'm going to reflect on everything here. Thank you so much for being with me. Have a wonderful new week and a lot of sales on repeat. Bye.